Hi, very good afternoon to each and everyone who has joined in. I can see a lot of responses coming in with the names and everything else. I hope you know that all this will be recorded. So what happens is unnecessary chat just floods up and I'll not be able to see your responses. So I would request you all not to flood up the chat at the moment. And with that being said, um, let's just quickly, wherever we are at homes, and because we're not connected through a formal meeting, just do a small thing that comes or makes us come to the session rather than typing. Just keep your hands away from the mobile phones or whatever you have, keep it in a place and just try to do this with your palms, your hands, let it be free. Try to stretch it out. I think it's evening and we would be all tired from our daily schedule. And there's no use of writing all that information at the moment. So just let's break free, open your palms, try to do an evening exercise, open, close, open, close, open, close, everyone. And let's just keep it together, go up and down, up and down, up and down, and something like that that makes us come back to the session. I hope everyone would have done that. Okay. So basically, what we did is one technique which we are trying to get ourselves into our class, that is the session on teaching techniques. Teaching techniques is not, I'm not here to tell you what to do, how to teach, and what to teach, because I know all teachers would be best at it and you would be already following a number of teaching techniques already in your classes. What I'm here to do is just, am I saying my voice is not clear? Let me see what I can do for you. I hope this is better. Okay, so what we are here to do is that if we already are practicing some techniques to revise them, and if we are not trying to, if we are not aware of some techniques, trying to get to know them today, and even if all that is happening in and out, understand what techniques are and why they are needed, and how it can help us in our daily life. As the quotation in the first slide says, learning is important, but the method in which we teach is even more important. Why? Because as we know that learning will happen in every single environment which we are trying to focus on. But the most important thing is how we are going ahead and trying to communicate it to our participants, that is our students, so that they understand what we are trying to teach. It's not always that everyone will understand in one way or the other. So it is very important to try to change the way one is coming through, and that makes it more engaging. So I'll move to the next slide. As you can see, while we are embarking on this journey of change we desire, that is what we are here for, let's see how best we can make difference in the method in which we teach. As I said earlier, like if you can see the photograph, that we are all going on a journey today, this 1 hour journey of learning and engaging ourselves and trying to understand what we can do better in our lives. It's very important that we all take this journey together, because sometimes what happens is we as learned individuals may feel that we know it, but at the same time there would be some extra things which we can take back today. Second is that we as individuals may not be very clear on what we are already doing and how we can make it more effective and engaging. So if we take this journey together, we will all learn something as a unity, as a team, and we will be able to carry ourselves forward, and we will also be able to help our students better. Uh, so that is one way of looking at it. So um, you may have a lot of questions for today, like what are we going to do? What activities are we going to do? What type of activities or what type of strategies we'll learn? And don't worry, in the next 1 hour, I will try to answer all those queries of yours, and we will do a lot of techniques and tips, and I'll ask you to write a lot in the chat box also in between. So as I said, you don't require to write your details. It automatically gets fetched from your login credentials, which you are using. If you're using the right credentials, we make sense. So what I want to also say is that uh, these curiosities makes the learning happen. If you don't are not curious, you will not allow yourselves to learn. So it's very, very important that we have questions, and if we have questions, then only the learning can be brought forward. If you are not having questions, it's impossible to learn. Nowadays, what happens is most of our students feel that they know already a lot of things. And that is why the learning level is somehow going down, or somewhere going down. We as teachers have a lot of complaints saying that nowadays the children are not that interested in our classes. They are thinking that they know everything. Internet is trying to teach them a lot of things, and so on and so forth. And you are right in some way, and I'll completely sympathize with you, empathize with you. I will would like to stand for you. But the problem lying there, the main root cause is that we have no strategies to make the question why come in their brain. And if you're able to make that why come in the brain, I assure you that they will want to attend your classes. They would be more interested in your classes. They would like to understand how they can comprehend better and how they can learn better. You know, in our olden times now, even nowadays, you would have seen that there are people, or you can say magicians, who come to us and they perform, and we are always a bit bewildered. Okay, how could he do it? Maybe a lighting of a thumb or something like that, or trying to take out a scuffle from a hat, and so on and so forth. What happens is they are just trying to make the participant or the individual a bit more inquisitive. Now, when a person is inquisitive, automatically the learning will go up, because now what happens is you have in your mind, how did he do it? And if someone is then trying to tell you, okay, fine, this happened because of these four ingredients, you would end up wanting to learn. And that is what I'm trying to do today in this session of ours, is that trying to make you understand what we as magicians can make our students feel that they are interested to learn. So with that, I would like to show this wonderful image. I'm sure my lecture has made you think. That is what we as teachers feel, because we feel that we have done a wonderful job. And I assure you, yes, we are doing a wonderful job. But if you see the other side, a lot of people were either sleeping, not able to get it, would require 5 more minutes to make things work out, uh, and some even were getting bored. So this is a general classroom scenario nowadays. And it's not because of us, as I said in the starting, it's because technology has gone ahead so much, and we require to move along with it. So we require to invent and recreate ourselves and give opportunity to ourselves in a way that we have some techniques, tips, and creativity so that they can learn at the end of the day. So with that, let's come down to the objectives. That is, what is our session going to talk about, and what are we trying to learn in this session of ours? We will see and review our methods. So in this time, I would like you to write down in the chat box some methods which you're following. If there is some methods which you're following, and I'll be able to tell you, yes, we are doing it, or it's good, something, or anything like that. So just go ahead. I am giving you around a minute or two to write down in the chat box if you're using any type of methods while teaching. I hope everyone can see the shared screen. That is the PPT which I'm sharing. Okay, very good. Role play, experiential learning, storytelling, flashcards, wonderful. We are going to talk about a lot of them today. Lecture method, okay, that is the best and the simplest method available. Very nice. Storytelling, gamification, very nice. Gamification is also very good. Hands-on experience, okay. We'll talk a bit on detail in hands-on experience. Role play. There is illustration method, very good. storytelling, then learning by doing, okay, peer teaching, demonstration, activity, and group discussions. So yes, I can see a lot of people talking about some of them, some common ones, and very good that we know that these are available. Demonstration is there, activities are there. I could see group discussion there. Someone saying hands-on learning, someone saying flashcards, and we'll talk about these. But I'll even try to bring out some new teaching techniques, which you may have followed but may not know how to put it across. So I'll just try to make it more, what do you say, clear on what we can do better in whatever we are already doing. So that is one way of looking at it. Very nice. Thank you, participants, for the reply. Uh, we are also going to do something known as selecting appropriate teaching methods, strategies for teaching a particular topic, because we can't follow everything and anything everywhere. So I would always say that you should have integration of two or three techniques so that everyone is able to capture your understanding in the same way that you would like to present it, and making teaching learning effective. Uh, we're trying to see how we can make the teaching learning a bit more effective at the end of the day. So that is one thing which we are trying to do. I have tried to increase my volume. If you would have got a call in between the session, I would request you to again just try to connect. That happens if you are connected from your mobile phones. I am trying to keep it as par as possible with this volume from my side. Okay, so the learning is a very, very constructive field, as I say. And as we put it across, we are the artists. And we as artists are responsible in painting the canvas which we have in front of us. But the problem here is that we, being a good painter, cannot paint it, but can only instruct the person who is going to paint it. I hope you understand the metaphor here, that we are teachers. We already know how to teach. We already know the chapter expertise. We know what the subject matter is. But the problem lies here is that even if we are trying to deliver ourselves, the person who is receiving this information is someone else, and he may like to paint it in some other way. We have all played this game, and I don't know if you play it with your students or not. It's a very fun game, and I would like to say that you should always try to play these type of games in the starting of the session or somewhere in between, like after the examination, when you have a day when you're just showing the paper with your students, so that they understand what you're trying to feel, and even they understand your pain at the end of the day. That is, make them stand in a line, give each one a paper, make them stand at the back, and try to ask them or draw at the back of one person on the paper a picture, maybe a dolphin or maybe a fish or maybe a bird, and ask that other person to keep passing it on without seeing that image, so that you find out the end result at the end. And if your students are good listeners, good followers, good timekeepers, and even good observers, I would say, they would be able to draw that bird or animal or anything which you would have drawn. But 90% of the times, you would see that whatever you have drawn and whatever has come out at the end would be completely different. Uh, Reason being that we listen to something, we follow something, and we do something altogether different. So it's very, very important that we try to make our students understand in ways which is going to connect to them and would last an impacting effect. So we require to build on these small techniques. I know everyone does paper showing or something like that, and this would help them to understand that yes, our teachers are trying to give us the best, but somewhere we are also trying to get misguided and trying to deviate from the original path. So that being said, uh, I feel that we'll be able to serve different disciplines only if we are able to see it in different ways. And if we are able to see it in different ways, we would able to communicate to our students in the best possible way across. So that is what we are here to do. So now I would like to talk about the learning cycle. Uh, See, what happens is there's a cycle which we require to follow, and the learning happens at these different cycles. Uh, as you can see, we have at the part where we are trying to incept or just trying to explore the concept. Then we have the concept development where we try to build on the concept, and then we have the application. Let me go a bit more detailed or in detail with all of these three. So imagine I show you a mango, a class or a nursery child, a mango. He or she may have seen it before because at homes they would have seen it or somewhere they may have that mango in front of them. So that is where they have already explored it. Now, I require to make the concept development, so I will try to make them able to understand that it is in yellow in color, it may be green in color initially. So how to identify, is it ripe, not ripe, uh, is there a seed inside it, and so on and so forth. Now, when they understand and can apply the whole learning of theirs in their daily lives, that they can understand how to use a mango, is it edible, what part of it is edible, what part of it is not edible. They can take it and go back at home and talk about this mango to their parents. Ki, I would love to have a mango, give me a mango to eat. So the application is being met. What we are as teachers doing at the moment is trying to give questions that say what all mango is, which is not right. So I say we try to explore first, let the whole group of yours explore an idea, then try to build on the concept by giving them information, by passing the information in the books and other things, and then allow them to apply this uh, in their daily lives. Without application, learning cycle will not be complete. Uh, this is a suggestion to all the maths teachers also. What happens is we teach a lot in maths. I hope others are, I'm able to be audible to others because there are some people saying that they're not able to hear me. Uh, am I audible? Yes. I think then the technical glitch is from some other side, but I'll try to be more audible at the moment and try to go a bit slow if possible. So, yes. Some people, if it is not audible to you, you will have to check your connection issue. I would suggest, madam and sir, just try to see if on your mobile phones, if you're using from the side, you have put it on the maximum volume and so on and so forth. Okay. So just try to uh, or log off and log in, just rejoin the meeting some way like that. Okay. So let's move on. For everyone else who is saying yes, they can hear me. So what I'm trying to explain here is that we require to first let our students explore, then work on the concept which we would like to build on them, and then even check why and how it has happened. Let me give you wonderful examples again. That sometimes what happens, Uh, yes, very important that we require to understand each one's personal level at the ground root level. And very nicely said by a teacher. I could not read the name, but very nicely said. So what happens is, let me just take an example of maths because it's very close to my heart. Uh, so when in the lower classes we teach HCF, LCM, we try to teach them about addition, subtraction. We don't give them real life examples. We don't give them real life scenarios. We don't say, okay, fine, you went to the market, you had 100 rupees with you. You went with your mother and then you ended up spending 5 rupees for, let us say, chocolate, 10 rupees for buying a pen, and 15 rupees for the groceries which your mother had asked you to buy, and 25 rupees for this. So how much money do you think do you have left? What happens is, if they are given why and what and how, I feel the application would already start getting met. We require to create scenarios, we require to create small markets, we require to create small scenarios which they feel that they require to use this application. When we talk about SCF, LCM, we don't tell them that we require to work in unity, how 500 bottles can be divided into in equal numbers if I require 24 stack of objects and so on and so forth. So we don't give them scenarios. The problem is we try to teach them at CFLCM. We ask them the question from the book. We say, let's solve these 5 questions. These questions are very, very important and they will come in your exams. They start solving it. You start solving it. But what happens is they are not going to the application level. And if they are not moving to the application level, learning will not happen. Why learning will not happen? They will remember it then. They will be able to write it in the examinations. They will be able to reproduce. You will feel that, yes, my student has learned it. You will give them a tick. But next year, the very next year, you would see that not even 50% of these people are remembering what you have taught them. And you'll say, I taught a wonderful, or they did a wonderful job yesterday or in the last session, but I don't know how they forgot. Maybe because we had a break of 15 days, they ended up forgetting it. The reason is not the 15 days, the reason being that they don't feel the use of it. I still remember when we were small, our parents used to give us some money and used to badger us about how much we have spent, how much is left, and we give the exact amount of change. Nowadays, the world has become progress so much that if you don't give 5 rupees, 10 rupees, or 15 rupees, parents don't ask where did this go. But I feel those type of parents who did ask for each and every penny and could they wanted an explanation for each amount of money which you had are better parents than parents who say, okay, fine, 15 rupees, it does not matter a lot. So with that being said, it's very important that the application is realistic, the application is clear, the application is very simple for the individual, and he can apply it in every scenario. So if he knows how to apply it, he will apply it, he will make that happen, he will try to remember what you have taught him, and that application will go a long, long way. So the learning cycle is very, very important. And if I say that learning cycle can be met with everyone, yes, for every concept, you can have a learning cycle. We know that in English, Hindi, we apply our learning. We are going to speak, let them speak out in your classes, let them be exploratory, let them take a session for you, make them or give them scenarios where they are doing a role play, or maybe what you call say, enacting a scene or so on and so forth, that the application of whatever you have taught can be met. So let's move on with that in mind. That with that, I'll say we have something known as experiential learning, and experiential learning is not about just experiencing the learning what we do. It's not about a chemistry teacher getting two chemicals and trying to show that if these two chemicals are mixed together, it becomes red, or red litmus paper turning into blue, and blue litmus paper turning into red. This is not only experiential learning, but experiential learning is about how we can make the initial experience. Let me um, tell you what I mean to say by a small example. I'm just showing you something. I require you to tell me what it is. So I'm showing you something. Can you tell me what it is, people? Can you tell me what am I holding on the camera? You want me to show it once again? Okay. Credit card, debit card, very good. Okay, nice. So what is it used for? People who can hear me, what is it used for? What can it be used for? Can you give me some examples of what it is? What can it be used for? Financial transactions. Okay, very good. Shopping, banking, transactions, shopping and banking. Very good. So as you can see that a lot of people, I did not even say this is a credit card. I asked you what you can do with it. And Uh, I'm not saying you are right, wrong. I'm just trying to take in inputs. And that is what you require to even do with your children. When you're doing an activity, let them be the aggressors. Let them be the ones who are telling you. Let them be, they may be right, they may be wrong, they may have a thought process. And it is your responsibility to understand which of them are right and which of them are wrong. And we'll see how with simple activities we can do that. Don't worry. So My point being that when you're doing an activity, it can be very simple. It can just take a quick couple of minutes. Like what I did just took me less than a minute, and I was able to get your attention to what I'm trying to show. Secondly, I could get to understand what type of transaction, then I can go to talk about even financial literacy by saying that if you know how to use money nicely, you can manage your money. So what happens is it makes learning complete. So when you do an activity, just let that activity become the first thing of your choice. Then you require to talk about the application. Is it going to be used, not going to be used, where it is going to be used, what you can do next with this activity, and then you require to build on the concept. Like I was trying to give you the concept that yes, we can talk about financial literacy, the main learning outcomes which you like to talk about, the why we require it, what is required, how it is required, when all and where all it is required, what type of transactions are available, where charges are available, and so on and so forth. You can deliver your whole content, whatever you may have. And finally, it is very, very important to reflect on whatever you have done. So it's very, very important that if I've done an activity or I have done something, to be able to reflect and understand the feelings of each person that, yes, we could get across. So then my last question to my group would be, so do you think I can use this thing better? Do you think we can make better use of this credit card or debit card which we have here, and we only make those type of transactions which are legitimate? So what type of legitimate transactions are possible, and I could reflect with my students. So it's very, very important to be able to reflect so that they know that at the end of the day, we have made this happen. With that, I would like to show a small video to everyone. I'm just trying to switch my share with a YouTube video of mine. I think you are able to see my screen. Yes, people? Okay.
Hello, Master Coach. How was your weekend? Hi, Anwar. My weekend was really exciting. How was yours? Oh, nothing special. Just the usual stuff. But what did you do? I attended a training on experiential learning, a new experience for me, and I got to learn a lot of new stuff. Experiential learning? What's that? Well, experiential learning simply means learning centered on reflection while doing or a learning based on experience. Sounds interesting. I want to know more about it, Master Coach. So, David Kolb, a renowned American educationist, developed this theory called the experiential learning theory, which primarily has four essential stages to learning, ordered in a cyclic manner. Concrete learning is simply when any learner is introduced to a new experience or relooks at a past experience differently. Reflective observation is when a learner is prompted to reflect on the experience from their personal bias. Abstract conceptualization is when a learner forms new ideas or modifies the existing ideas based on their reflection. And finally, active experimentation is when the learner applies the ideas formed to their surroundings. It is simply called do, reflect, analyze, apply in a continuous cycle and not a sequence. Wow, that sounds interesting. But, Master Coach, how can this learning help us better our classroom engagement? The first step is to understand that our learners have different learning styles. But most of the time in our classrooms, we unconsciously focus only on some learners. Broadly, we can group our learners into four types based on their learning styles. Divergent learners look at things from different perspectives. They have strong imagination, are emotional, and enjoy working in groups. They fall between concrete experience and reflective observation. Assimilating learners prefer clear and concrete information. They can analyze and logically format information in depth. They are more interested in concepts than in people. They fall between abstract conceptualization and reflective observation. Converging learners enjoy problem solving. They love working with practical issues and experimenting with newer ideas. They fall between abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. Accommodating learners enjoy practical application of ideas. They get excited with new challenges and solve problems spontaneously. They fall between concrete experience and active experimentation. This is so amazing. Thank you for sharing this, Master Coach. I wonder what I can do to put this into practice. I can offer some tips. Remember to balance your theory sessions with lab sessions, field visits, market scans, etc. You can use diverse mediums to explain a theoretical concept, including audiovisual aids, a PowerPoint, performing arts like theater, role plays. Then there is something for everyone to learn. Simulation exercises work really well too, where you replicate real life situations and get students to respond to it. Example, mock job interview or a scenario of convincing parents to take up a job with night shifts. Let's design each of our learning sessions as an experience, one that can be enjoyed by all our learners.
So I hope you would have understood this small video of us, so that it is very important to see and experience. Just trying to stop this.
Hello, we are the Model United Nations Working Group in Ukraine, and today we are going to be demonstrating the flow of debate and Model United Nations procedures for a Model UN committee. Today we are using the United Nations Security Council as an example, but this can be used for any committee. We have a chair and 4 delegates. I am a delegate. I am representing People's Republic of China. I am the chair. I moderate debate and tell delegates when to speak, but not
It had gone on a loop, sorry. It was not coming out from the sessions recording. So let's move on and see a lot of techniques, and let's dive into different techniques, which is the main focus area of our session. And I hope I was able to build your enthusiasm or build your curiosity, basically, why we require different teaching techniques. So let's do the first one. That is, as I say it, the admit or entrance ticket. So basically, you require to always have an entrance ticket for your students. That is by allowing them to brainstorm on different ideas. Just giving them simple questions or just asking them some simple inquisitive questions, maybe right, wrong, let's leave it aside, and engage them in a way so that they know that it may lead to something. So like if you see what can be some brainstorming questions, I've just put in some, and then I've come down to the question and the thought process that do all plants have roots which grow under the ground? Can plants roots grow above the ground? And if yes, where, what, and how you have seen them? Have you seen plants with roots growing above the ground? So you have even asked them, have you seen something like this? And if they say you yes, where, what, and ask them, you can ask them to show you, tell you where they have seen something like that. And it will always make the class more interesting. And then you can lead to the topic known as aerial roots and talk about how roots can go above the ground, what are the nutrients required, sorry, what are the different type of things which have roots above the ground, which are the plants which have roots under the ground. And what happens with this brainstorming and leading questions, you're not trying to lead them to anything in particular. They don't even know that okay, they will be learning about aerial routes. You have just asked them some bizarre questions as per them. And once they are able to answer these bizarre questions, they would really get to know about something new. Uh, Now let's do this one. This is very, very simple. And I think this has gone out of practice where we were talking about role play and other things. That is pick a chit and think and share. So what happens is once you have completed a session or even in the starting, you can have a lot of chits with you. Ask them to pick up chit. It may have a question inside it, or it may have something which would ask them something, and because they don't know what question or what type of query will be asked to them, they cannot be prepared for the answer first. Second, you can always have an open-ended question which may not be very complex, like um, just trying to understand what they know. What is a beehive? Like I've just taken it as per the simple examples, ask them simple questions. What is a beehive? What is honey? What is beehives made up of? Or any type of things which is trying to interest them. And then come to the concept of honeybees and so on and so forth. It's known as the jigsaw box, basically, or you can say the wonderment box also, where, as you can see in the image, there's a lot of box, and when you try to put your hand inside a box where you don't know what is inside, you are always a bit scared and a bit curious because you don't know what is actually inside this box. And when you don't know what is inside the box, the curiosity is already very, very high. And when you answer these questions, sometimes what happens is even you get to understand that, yes, there is still some learning which I require to do. And because of this curiosity which you are able to build in the child, he would like to put his hand inside the box, but at the same time, he's a bit frightened. So that is a wonderful way, I say, that you can talk to your students and talk to your uh, younger ones, and especially even in 9th and 10th. As soon as you give them the chits, they feel, yes, we are all at the same par. We are all at something where we would like to learn something more, and you can do it for any level. It's not that you have to do it only for a particular level. You can do it for any level. Okay. This is also very, very nice and something which we should follow. That is acrobatics. Sorry, acrostics. Basically, it's basically making a simple name for some terms which is very difficult to remember. Uh, in chemistry, I still remember that my chemistry teacher was finding it very difficult to make me remember the atomic names and the valencies of the first 30 elements. So he made a song for me like Ha, Heli, Babnov, Nina, Magal, and so on and so forth. And then what happened is it wasn't having no meaning at all. It was having no sense at all. But what happened is because of this, I ended up learning all the names, atomic names, and like atomic numbers and the other parameters. So it's very, very important to be able to give, like you can see, Mr. Green is here, or Miss Green is here, basically talking about movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition, the important aspects or the things which are needed for any living thing altogether. So you don't have to tell them what it is about. You can just make them learn Mrs. Green. You can make them learn the 7 important things. Uh, I've tried to increase my voice as much as possible, people. This is the maximum audible volume I can give you. I'm sorry if you're able to hear me, and I've tried to connect it through a laptop only. It may be somewhere in the technical glitch of your end. So what happens is at the end, uh, you have given them the definitions, you have given them the words to remember. And if I feel that if a person writes only these 7 things, and when he talked about that what are living things, and he says living things are all that move, respire, are sensitive, can grow, can reproduce, can excrete, and requires nutrition, he will definitely get the marks because these are the 7 things which are very, very essential for life as we know it. So, it's just small abbreviations, or we say, right, FFCS. So we talk about ASL, we talk about, we have these small acronyms which we give ourselves. And it's very important to even create those acrostics for our students. So with that, let's move on to the next one. I would like you to answer and tell me. So out of the seven which I've shown you, I have shown you seven of them. Uh, you say I have given you the seven things over here also. That is uh, respiration. We have talked about excretion, transpiration. We have talked about. So what is there in the first image? What is it being shown in the first image? What do you think is being shown in the first image, people? Is it talking about respiration? Is it talking about growth? Is it talking about reproduction, sensibility, movement, nutrition, excretion? What is it talking about in the first image? Okay, people are writing movement, respiration. Okay, movement. One person is even given respiration. Okay, good. Thinking out of the box. Very, very nice. Okay, let's move on to the next image. Image number two. What do you think is talking about or is being talked about in image number two? Growth. Okay. Nutrition. Very nice. Life processes. Let's only stick to the seven life processes. Growth, nutrition. Okay, very good. Let's see the third one. What can be said in third one? Reproduction. It can be excretion, someone is saying. What else? Nutrition. Okay, fourth one. Fourth one, growth. Okay. Sensitivity, very nice. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. Anyone else? Growth, very good. Let's move to the fifth one. Nutrition, growth, movement, respiration, nutrition. Someone is saying, okay. Nutrition, growth. Sixth one. What about the sixth one? Growth, respiration, creativity. Creativity is not a part of it, but reproduction. Okay. Growth. Okay. So, as you can see, that when you make people pair and think, it will automatically give you a lot of results. As you can see that when we started off, many people only could think of in the first image, that is movement, but could not think about respiration through the first image. It can also be growth. It can even be sensitivity. When you run for a long period of time, your legs will swell up and so on and so forth. And you have your five senses. So automatically your sensitivity can also be talked about. So what I mean to say is that it is not that uh, one perspective is right and wrong. One perspective can have a multiple or multitudes of answer. But when you pair people up, when you ask them to work in pairs, they will end up discussing more and they will be able to get even more answers than you would have originally thought about. So the idea was to make you understand and realize that pairing is all about learning together. And we as teachers could learn so much from these six images. Just imagine how our students will be able to learn and how much they will be able to get. Uh, Next, we are talking about think, write, and share. Similar to the one which we just talked about, uh, we can allow our students to think on a particular thing, write about that, and then share about it. Rather than just trying to bring it out from our side, we can give them some topics to write on. We can ask them to sit in pairs, write what happened, and then share it to us. So that was the same thing we just did in the previous one, as you can see, think, write, and share. So, uh, okay, let's do this on quick writes. Quick writes is again giving them a simple topic and or a simple image and asking them to write about it. And we may have different answers on it, but we can also ask them at the end what you felt about it. So, uh, my query was, why do you like junk food? And they could have given me so many answers. And once these answers come to me, I could then talk about a balanced diet. What is a nutritional diet? How we can have a balanced diet, and that balanced diet can make us more healthy at the end of the day. Uh, we can do word splash again, a wonderful technique. Okay, here I would like to talk about it in a bit more detail. The I think we did an activity recently, so we can go a bit into theory. So word splash is basically when you give the keywords, the child knows that, okay, fine, these are the 10 keywords, and if I know these 10 keywords, I will be able to comprehend the chapter very well. So he knows that the work is very small and cut out for him. At the same time, you make it more linked, like greenhouse effect, gas, the responsible gases. What is then about global warming? And then moving on with those same journal of teaching and learning, rather than trying to talk about different things, trying to bring all those things which are interrelated to each other in the same foreground, or you can say uh, in the same flashcard. So it would help the child out in eventually. So word splash is another way which we can do it. Mind maps, word maps we are already doing. So I'll not dive into it in detail. It's just a technique I think we have been using. How many of you have been using it? Can you just give me a thumbs up or a yes on the chat? Have you used a mind map or a word map before? I can see some a lot of thumbs up coming my way. Yes is coming my way. Yes. So it's one of the easiest and the simplest technique, but I'll say it's still very effective. Why? Um, at the start of the chapter, very nice. You know what happens is it makes the students understand, okay, fine, these are the 7 things, or these are the 5 things, or these are the 4 things which I require to understand and I require to learn to be able to comprehend this chapter better. And once that happens, automatically they are very clear on how to make it happen. But as I said, this is advantages, but at the same time, it is a part of rote learning somewhere or the other nowadays, because till you make the child experience, the experiential learning would not happen. And as I said, experiences have to be very clear to them. So let them think, write, and share. This can always be the starting activity or an ending activity for recollection, memorization, getting to know what all things they require to remember, and so on and so forth. But very important activity altogether. Anyone who is doing it at the start of every chapter, hands on or thumbs up for you, because you're doing a wonderful job in that case. It's very important to have different strategies, as you saw in the video also, that it's very important to have different techniques because different learners requires different styles. Okay. Uh, Moving on, we have the 5-3-1 rule, or you can say alone, pair, and then group. Always let individuals work alone, then you can pair them, or and even then have a group answer, or you can do it opposite also. You can do a brainstorming, then make them work in pairs, and then come down to the individual work of theirs, like the answers, the copies, the questions that you have, and the formal assessment. So it can be done 1-3-5 or 1 or 5-3-1. Choice is ours. I say, as teachers, the best way is first brainstorm, then try to find the best answers, and then find the best out of the best which you can give to your students by completing all the aspects of the answer. So what happens is, let us say I asked, what is a honeybee? There may be hundreds of answers. Then I try to jot down the top 3-4 answers, and then come down to the one best which I can still have at the end of the day. So it's very important to have those type of activities, 1-3-5 or 3-5-3-1. Choices ours. I always say we can use the 5-3-1 also. So it's very nice to enjoy these type of activities in the class, because you get a lot of answers, and then you would see that most of it is being answered in the class. Uh, then let's move on to the next one. We have the causal activity. This is basically a type of sheet which you can make. It can be in an A4 sheet, it can be in a chart paper. You can ask them to put it in their rooms, on the tables where they're studying, and so on and so forth. And what you can write is the things which they are getting confused with by having their definitions or their equations or their numericals along with their formulas, images, and so on and so forth. So they have a clear idea of those 10 things or 5 things on the same sheet of paper, so that if they see it again and again, they will remember this. I ask my students to do something for volumes and surface areas, and I make them do it in the class every year. Is I ask them to make something like this for volumes and surface area, where they write the figure, they draw the 3D figure along with it, they write the volume, they write the surface area, and they write the formula. And for the whole week, they carry it and they see it again and again while they are trying to do the numericals. And by the end of the week or 1.5 weeks, which it takes for me to complete the chapter, they already are remembering the formulas. We feel that they require to not see it and do it, but another way of looking at it is the more amount of times they are able to see the formula, the more better they will be able to remember it. So sometimes it's very, very important to understand the definitions, and it becomes very easy and clear to the our members who are attending our sessions or our students who are attending our sessions, to make them do something. And similarly, it's very important to see it again and again. Like if you get the slides and are able to see it again, you'll remember the formulas, the techniques, and so on and so forth. Or you would have taken screenshots, so you'll know these are the different type of activities which we can do. So similarly, it's very, very important to see the different type of activities available. Okay. So we are very, very close to the end. I know that we are following the time and we would be following the time. And as you can see, already a lot of thank yous have started pouring in. But so when I say this, it's very, very important as individuals to be able to pair and understand, because if we are not able to pair different activities, what happens is we will be only doing one type of activity, and that may be a standalone altogether. So from one end where we are learning, we require to be able to listen. So it's very, very important as individuals, as teachers, to be listening to our students, understanding their things. And we have written conversations all across. You can ask them to write those things, use sticky notes in your class by just giving them some sticky notes, asking them or making 3 zones in the sticky notes, that one, let us say there are 3 questions, and we ask them to write on any of these 3 questions. One question they can pick, whichever they feel is comfortable for them, and give answers to them and read out these answers in the class. Okay, find this person, or these are the answers which you have got, and then come down to a conclusion. So you are able to discuss even not even one question, but 3 or 4 questions. You can have the plus minus activity or the neutral activity, where you can again create 3 zones and say, uh, this is a question. Do you think this is true, false, or you don't have an idea? Then you allow the people who say true, they for their reason, for people who say false for their reason, and for people who are neutral, then to re-choose. It's always important to allow them to re-choose. What do you feel? Whom do you like to go with? And if you are going with someone, why, and so on and so forth. Like you can ask a question to do plants move? And many people will say yes, many people will say no, and some may think yes and no, and then there will be arguments on the class. And then you will see that 50% of the class is saying that the plants move, and 50% are saying plants don't move. And then once you give them a logical explanation and ask them, what do you want to go from not moving to moving, or moving to not moving? And then you will be able to see that all of them are able to answer your queries perfectly. Uh, you can even have simple other activities, like the first activity where you can ask them a yes or no question, intriguing, where and how. You can give them different role plays, which we have already talked about. These things, as I said, I'll not go into detail because you know about it. You can go and give them some improvs, ask them to play a character in your class. You can make them a storyboard by saying this happened, this is next. Give them a comic sketch in your class, ask them to make a storyboard of who between two characters. You can play a lot of video clips, like I did one video clip. So if you saw that we try to engage, or we try to engage in 2 or 3 different strategies and styles in a session of 40 minutes or 50 minutes, I say effective 50 minutes, we did use, I think, 7, 8 techniques. So I feel that in your sessions, you'll be able to use many more. So remember that always allow people to discuss. You can have panel discussions. You can always strategize. So as you can see us from a small storyboard, I think I taught you, but learning should happen and can happen only when you practice some of them. Try to practice these techniques. Try to learn through these techniques. Try to do them in your class. Don't try to hear like uh, in this comic, whistling can only be learned by doing and not by hearing. Many times we hear a good whistle and we would like, but uh, don't hear, but do. So I would close down with this image. I hope that I could teach you. The test is all about trying to practice it in your class. Uh, and thanks a lot. Please do share your reflections. I hope you liked the session. I hope we could, or I could answer your queries about how or what was there in the session, and what was the main agenda of the session. As I said in the starting, that I will try to justify the teaching techniques. I hope by this end of my slide, I was able to justify the teaching techniques. So thanks once again. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and don't worry, your attendance will be marked accordingly and the certificates will generate after the session and so on and so forth. Give it a couple of days. Thank you all. With that, I would like to leave with one very, very important thing, that it's good that we attended this 1 hour session, but it is of no use until and unless we practice. So there are a lot of different techniques we are already using. Try to take them back, try to use them in your class, try to segregate your class, let them move. It's very, very important to allow your students to move, let them go around, let them waste their energy, let them take out their energy in your sessions. And once that happens, they will learn and respect you, listen to you, and be involved with you. So thanks all. Best wishes to all. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy with your families. And once you're there tomorrow in your schools, try to at least use some of them, because learning by doing is the best type of learning. Thank you.